The moment you check your bank account or open a bill, does a knot form in your stomach? That pervasive feeling of dread, anxiety, and shame associated with debt is often the biggest obstacle to paying it off. We're not talking about math, we're talking about psychology. Many financial experts focus solely on spreadsheets and interest rates, neglecting the crippling emotional baggage that prevents consistent action. Today, we introduce a powerful, almost deceptively simple technique, a 5-minute daily mindset habit designed to completely decouple fear from finance. This isn't a complex budget overhaul, it's a mental restructuring. We aim to transform debt from a looming monster into a finite, manageable challenge. By dedicating just 5 focused minutes each day, you can shift from feeling overwhelmed and avoiding the problem to proactively engaging with it from a position of control. Let's delve into why this minor commitment yields monumental emotional and financial results.
Traditional debt management often fails because it demands sustained high-level emotional energy. Tracking every penny, making huge sacrifices, and constantly feeling deprived leads to burnout, a psychological phenomenon we call decision fatigue. When fatigue sets in, avoidance becomes the primary coping mechanism, causing interest accrual and further psychological strain. This cyclical pattern is rooted in an all-or-nothing mindset. We believe that unless we dedicate hours to a complex plan, the effort is meaningless. But the truth is, consistency beats complexity every single time. Our goal here is not immediate payoff, but relentless, non-judgmental awareness. We must interrupt the avoidance cycle by proving to our brains that engaging with our debt is not a painful, all-consuming event, but a brief, controlled exercise. By establishing this habit, we reduce the emotional volatility tied to our finances, making room for rational, sustained strategy.
The habit we are introducing is called the Daily Debt Dialogue. It's a highly structured 5-minute commitment, broken down into 3 specific steps, each targeting a different aspect of your psychological relationship with money. This structure is critical because time boundaries prevent the activity from spiraling into anxiety. You need a designated time, perhaps right after your morning coffee or before you shut down your work computer, and a designated space. The dialogue is not about calculation, but about acknowledgement and reframing. Think of this as a cognitive behavior therapy session for your bank account. By applying consistency, you are essentially training your subconscious mind that debt is a solvable equation, not an existential threat. The dialogue forces you to confront the reality, but immediately equips you with the tools to change the narrative surrounding that reality. This active engagement is the foundation of turning passive fear into proactive empowerment.
Step 1. The 60-second acknowledgement. For 60 seconds and only 60 seconds, open your debt tracking spreadsheet or dedicated app. Look at the total figures, the principal owed, the interest rates, and the minimum payments due this month. Crucially, this must be a non-judgmental observation. Do not catastrophize. Do not assign moral failure to the numbers. The goal is pure data recognition. If you feel anxiety rising, visualize yourself as a financial reporter, simply recording facts. This disciplined time boundary is your psychological shield. Knowing that the observation period is strictly limited prevents the rabbit hole of worry that often accompanies debt review. This simple act of consistent, time-bound acknowledgement is profoundly effective. It removes the power of the unknown and replaces vague fear with concrete data points, which are inherently less frightening than the monsters we create in our heads when we avoid the issue entirely.
Step 2. The 3-minute reframing. This is the heart of the habit. Take the facts you just acknowledged and rewrite the narrative. Instead of viewing debt as a punishment, reframe it as a tool or an investment. For instance, if you have student loans, tell yourself, "This debt represents the investment in my education, which provided my current income." If it's credit card debt from an emergency, reframe. "This debt allowed me to navigate a past crisis, and now I am efficiently closing that chapter." Use affirmative language like, "I am in control of this outflow," or "I am systematically reducing this liability." Write these reframed statements down. Physical writing reinforces the neural pathways, establishing a new, healthier association with your liabilities. This 3-minute period is dedicated to psychological sovereignty. You are deciding what the debt means to you,
rather than letting societal pressures or fear dictate its definition. This linguistic shift is instrumental in reducing the shame factor.
Step 3. The 60-second action anchor. The final minute requires you to commit to one and only one tiny actionable step toward your financial goals. The action must be micro, something that takes less than 5 minutes to execute or schedule later in the day. This could be checking if your checking account is linked to your debt payment system, researching the hours of operation for your bank, or scheduling a calendar reminder to pay a specific bill later that week. The goal here is not massive progress, but building an undeniable chain of successful micro actions. By closing the 5 minutes with a success, you condition your brain to associate the debt dialogue session with completion and achievement, rather than just stress. This action anchor transforms the abstract mindset work into tangible momentum, no matter how small. It solidifies the idea that every day you are making progress, reinforcing the feeling of competence and control.
The cumulative power of consistency is the secret weapon here. Consider the concept of financial velocity. It's not the size of the push, but the frequency. One major action once a month is often psychologically less effective than 30 small actions repeated daily. Imagine a professional athlete. They don't train only on game day. They perform consistent, small drills every single morning. Your financial life is no different. The daily debt dialogue ensures that debt management never leaves the forefront of your mind, but also never overwhelms your day. Over the course of a month, you will have consciously engaged with your finances for 150 minutes, 2.5 hours, all structured for psychological safety and positive reinforcement. This daily check-in normalizes the process of handling money, turning an emotionally charged event into a routine administrative task, thereby mitigating panic and fostering long-term resilience.
This habit leverages fundamental psychological principles, particularly the dopamine feedback loop. When you complete the 5-minute dialogue, especially the action anchor, your brain rewards you with a small release of dopamine, the feel-good chemical associated with accomplishment. By structuring the habit to end in success, you teach your brain to seek out this daily engagement. Conversely, avoidance releases cortisol, the stress hormone, which reinforces the desire to avoid the issue next time. By consistently choosing engagement over avoidance, you are retraining your limbic system. This shift from cortisol-driven fear to dopamine-driven motivation is profound. You stop managing debt out of terror and start managing it out of a positive, self-affirming sense of progress. This is the difference between running away from a threat and confidently walking toward a goal.
Inevitably, setbacks occur. You miss a payment, an emergency expense arises, or an unexpected fee lands in your inbox. When facing these moments, the daily debt dialogue becomes your crucial stabilizing mechanism. The temptation is to revert to avoidance, but instead, you use the 5-minute structure to process the setback objectively. During the acknowledgement phase, record the new, unfavorable data without self-recrimination. During the reframing phase, your narrative shifts to resilience. This is a temporary detour, not a permanent roadblock. I have faced challenges before, and I have the tools to adjust. The action anchor then focuses on mitigation, perhaps contacting the creditor or adjusting the next micropayment. The dialogue prevents a single setback from spiraling into a systemic failure, ensuring that even on your worst financial day, you maintain emotional control and adhere to your framework of positive action.
The long-term transformation facilitated by this 5-minute habit extends far beyond simply reducing your debt balance. It fundamentally changes your financial identity. You move from identifying as someone burdened by debt to someone proactively managing their resources. This shift in identity is essential for sustainable financial freedom. As your debt anxiety diminishes, your cognitive resources are freed up, allowing you to focus on growth opportunities, saving, investing, and career advancement, rather than just firefighting liabilities. This habit lays the groundwork for advanced financial strategies because it teaches you discipline and objectivity. Once you are comfortable and objective in your daily engagement with money, you are ready to tackle higher-level concepts like portfolio diversification or complex retirement planning. The debt dialogue is therefore the gateway drug to comprehensive financial mastery.
Let's quickly summarize the 5-minute mindset habit that will change your financial life. Every day, choose your time and space. Set a timer.
First, 60 seconds of non-judgmental acknowledgement of the raw debt data. Second, 3 minutes dedicated to reframing the narrative, turning burden into investment, and writing it down to reinforce positive thought patterns. Third, the 60-second action anchor, committing to one tiny executable microstep that closes the session on a positive note of achievement. This entire process must remain contained within the 5-minute window to avoid triggering anxiety and to reinforce the concept of manageable control. Start small, stay consistent, and watch as your emotional landscape surrounding money transforms. The greatest hurdle in finance is not mathematics, it is avoiding the numbers. This habit eliminates the anxiety that fuels that avoidance.
Taking control of your debt is not a sprint, it's a mindful marathon fueled by small, deliberate steps. The 5-minute mindset habit is your daily opportunity to exercise your financial muscle, replacing panic with clarity and avoidance with proactive engagement. Commitment to this simple routine is the single most powerful step you can take toward true financial resilience and peace of mind. Remember, the journey to financial freedom is paved not with massive sacrifices, but with unwavering, consistent micro-habits. Start your daily debt dialogue today. Take 5 minutes, reclaim your control, and watch your relationship with money change forever. If this detailed guide helped reframe your perspective, let us know in the comments below. And most importantly, don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates and strategies that empower your financial journey.